SAFM Sports Special with Nick Bauer.
So, on the show today, we have our special guest on Offside, Chris Forrest.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Once upon a time, you were known as an incarnation called Cooler Box, but that is, well, I believe he's dead and buried.
He's not dead. Well, he's sort of dead and buried. But yeah, it was my alter ego was Cooler Box, the voice of the Benoni Underground.
All right, left dead and buried in Benoni. Well, on Offside, we love to have a chat with everyday South Africans, fairly well-known everyday South Africans, I might add. Find out what they know about sport and see how they'd shape up in my job. Don't be too good or we might just swap roles.
I'll try not to be.
Okay, well, I believe you're quite the football fanatic. And are you enjoying what you're seeing on screen at the moment? London derby, Tottenham up against Chelsea?
I'm enjoying it purely from the point of view that I have a couple of Chelsea players in my fantasy league team. And Mata's just scored one, and he got the assist on the other one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, correct.
So that's good. But I couldn't really. I'm not bothered about the results of either of these two teams.
Well,
I hope John Terry sprains an ankle and then gets dropped on his head when they're carrying him off on the stretcher.
That would be poetic justice, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh, except if you're a Chelsea fan. But nonetheless, yes, Tottenham Hotspur no longer in the lead against Chelsea. Chelsea drawing level. It's 2-2. What a crackerjack of a London derby. Haven't seen one of these in a very long time. Now, haven't had a chance to look at the golf as of yet. Let's look at the US PGA McLadry Classic. Anjan Atwal is leading the charge, heading into round 3. He's on 10 under par after shooting a second round 63. Davis Love the third and Jim Furyk, they are tied for second, just one shot back on 9 under. Have to go fairly far down the list to find a South African. Rory Sabatini's in the mix. He's tied for 13th alongside Charles Howell the third and Vijay Singh. Now, we've got Chris Forrest in studio, co-presenting alongside us on Offside. And tell us what's happening on the European tour. Bit weird, it's in Australia.
Well, it counts. You know, they're talking about European as in the old South Africa used to have European and non-European. So Bo van Pelt is leading with 12 under par. He shot a third round 67. Second place is Jason Duther. Sorry, it's quite far away. I couldn't read it properly. He's on 11 under par, and he's got also a third round score of 67. Do we have any South Africans in the leaderboard? Let's have a look.
Going far down under.
I don't think we do.
The Perth.
Sorry, I was a bit unprepared.
No,
I apologize.
No, not at all. Not at all. It doesn't look as though any South Africans made the cut. But then again, why would they want to go to a golfing tournament all the way in
Australia? Exactly.
Anyway, heading back towards rugby. Great victory for the Cheetahs yesterday. I'm not too sure if you follow rugby, Chris.
I follow it a fair bit. I was so glad the Cheetahs won because I'm not a big fan of the EP Kings. Being a Lions fan myself.
Oh, my heart bleeds for you.
Well, no Super Rugby, so it'll be poetic justice if they win the Currie Cup again, and then the EP Kings get relegated because I think they're in the relegation zone if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's correct. They're in
after getting thumped by the Cheetahs.
Yeah, they're in the first and Premier Division playoff against the Cheetahs. The Cheetahs absolutely mauled them yesterday in Bloemfontein. They won by 53 points to 14, and we'll have to see Watson and the boys try and turn it around in Port Elizabeth next week in the second leg of that playoff. So, Lions fan, you are.
Can't see it myself. Yes, long-suffering Lions and Liverpool fan.
Okay, well, look, I'm not that bad. I'm a long-suffering Lions fan, but I was wise enough to choose Manchester United as my team of choice.
Yes.
Less said about that, the better?
Well, no, I respect Alex Ferguson and his manager. As a person, I think he's a complete prick. But but you can't deny what he's done. I'm not obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I hate Man United. But I was interested to find out. Because I don't know if you followed the documentary. There was a documentary called Being Liverpool that's being shown on Supersport lately. Oh,
well, we've got a producer here in studio, Siobhan Chetty. She is an absolutely rabid Liverpool fan. She's what she's been speaking about the whole afternoon. So go ahead, tell me more.
This is true. It's called Being Liverpool, and it's absolutely brilliant. Have you been watching it, Siobhan? Brilliant. And then because of the success of it, some of the Man U guys are thinking about doing a similar one about Man United. They're going to call it Being Knobheads. So let's look forward to that.
Touche. Nice one. Well, while we're babbling away, did you even notice that Chelsea are now in the lead? 3-2.
No, who scored?
Jeez.
That's the
Well
problem
done.
when the
No,
TV's
it's
behind
another
me.
one for Mata. So you should may as well jump up and down. It's in that fantasy league of yours.
Yes.
One of your players scoring.
Woohoo.
And 2 goals for Mata early on in the day. The opening goal came from Cahill in the 17th minute. And then 2 quick-fire goals from Spurs in the second half in the 47th and 54th by Gallas and Defoe took them into the lead. But there's lots of work for them to do now. And maybe I spoke a little bit too soon about Andrea Villas-Boas maybe exacting some revenge for being expelled earlier on
Although
in his career.
I saw John Terry chose himself as captain.
Oh, really?
Yes, he told Roberto Di Matteo, put me down as captain for this one, even though I've been found not guilty in courts of racism, but guilty by the FA. Yes,
Jeez,
but there's
he's a very humble guy, isn't he not?
yes, I loved how he stood aside and let Frank Lampard lift up the Champions League trophy last year. Like, I mean, did he really have to put on his kit?
No, that's true. That's true. Well, there's loads of politics behind the scenes. I think there's still more to come out in that story, but maybe a little bit
I
of...
don't know. It was fairly straightforward. I'm not even a lip reader, and I could tell what he said.
Well, I wonder how long it'll be before we see John Terry in the soup again. Time for us now to launch our mystery voice for the day on SAFM Sports Special. Haven't done this in a while. See if you can identify this voice, and better still, tell me what they're talking about.
If you look at the quality of those newcomers, these are the people who have already shown their mettle internationally, and we're very confident that this is the team that will bring more than the medals that we had last time. South Africa need not fear. They will definitely bring the medals back to us.
Oh, well, you almost got that right. Luckily, I didn't put our mic on. Yes, Chris Forrest with me in studio on SAFM Sports Special. Who is that? What were they talking about? 34701, each SMS costing you R2. Look forward to hearing from you on South Africa's news and information leader, FM 104 to 107. Coming up in the show, we've got some more live action from Athlone Stadium, Ajax Cape Town versus SuperSport United. And would you believe that Pilates can improve your golf swing? We'll find out more about that in the next hour of SAFM Sports Special. We'll find out exactly what Pilates has got to do with golf and how hole-in-one fitness is making waves in the South African local golfing scene. That's right, you certainly are. We'll be with you until 7 this evening on South Africa's news and information leader. It's SAFM, FM 104 to 107. Nicholas Bauer is the name, and with me in studio and offside this week, we've got Chris Forrest.
That's right, and I'm still here. And right now, are we doing this thing?
Yeah.
We're going to be
certainly
crossing to Mo Ali in the Athlone Stadium. We're going to find out what's happening in the match between Ajax Cape Town and SuperSport United.
Thanks very much, Mo. We'll come back to you a little bit later on in the program, find out what's happening at the Athlone Stadium. Just a quick update elsewhere in the Telkom knockout. Also got 25 minutes between Free State Stars and Golden Arrows already gone, and it's 0-0 there as well. It's still 3-2 to Chelsea. 10 minutes left in their match at White Hart Lane against Tottenham Hotspur. Some mouth-watering clashes a little bit later on in the English Premier League as well. We've got, let's have a look here. Fulham up against Aston Villa.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to the two main appetizers.
We have Liverpool versus Reading.
Yeah.
Fernando Torres is going to score a hat-trick. I feel it in my waters. And then the other important match of the day, we've got Norwich versus Arsenal.
Oh, Norwich versus Arsenal. What
Yes.
about a certain Stoke versus Manchester United?
Nobody cares about that either.
All right.
Let's be honest. I mean, Man United, really.
Well, since when did Fernando Torres still play for Liverpool?
Did I say Fernando Torres or
Yeah.
I said Suarez?
Oh, Suarez. Okay,
Luis Suarez.
You know, that is if he doesn't get an Oscar for the diving he does. Or maybe...
He gets discriminated against. He doesn't dive. Watch. He hardly ever dives. There's always contact. He's 100% fair player.
100% fair play. You
Okay,
say this with a straight face.
He's 80%.
80% foul. Yeah.
Never.
Oh, all right.
Lies.
Well, in other matches that allegedly Chris Forrest thinks we don't care about, the so-called reigning champions Manchester City, they're up against West Brom, the Baggies hosting them there. West Ham United up against Southampton, as well as Swansea versus Wigan. And we also, as I mentioned, Fulham up against Aston Villa, and Manchester United versus Stoke at Old Trafford. All of those matches getting underway at 4 p.m. our time. 6:30 is when the Yellow Canaries take on the Gunners. Norwich versus Arsenal should be a fairly interesting encounter. And one match on the go in the English Championship. Crystal Palace down to 10 men against the Hard Boys of Millwall. 66 minutes gone. They lead by 2-1 at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace's home ground. We'll speak to Peter Burrows about the latest in the South African rallying rallying series. We've got the Human Auto 400. It's happening in Free State today and tomorrow, and we'll speak to him in a couple of minutes' time. But as I said, we've got Chris Forrest in studio with us, an Offside on SAFM Sports Special today. And you said you like football. You're wearing this oddly coloured red T-shirt with a cockerel on.
It's not a cockerel.
Oh, okay. Well, what is that?
It's a royal liver bird.
Or a royal liver bird.
Yes.
Well, do the Scousers have to look for something to make them look posh?
No. Well, the if you ever go to Liverpool, it's a very cultured city, and they have the Guardian over the harbour there.
Oh yeah.
With 4 of these birds looking over it, and they're almost like falcons/phoenixes, and they're called royal liver birds.
Royal liver birds.
They've been there since before there was football.
Jeez.
So it's the symbol of the city.
All right, fair enough. Look, I got a lot of respect for Liverpool Football Club, but you guys have been really poor lately, eh?
They have been, but it's a building season. I think Brendan Rodgers is a very clever coach. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's doing. His system needs to be implemented, and they'll come right.
You reckon? What?
Yes.
This time 15 years?
No, I'd say by next year they'll be firing on all cylinders. When Alex Ferguson retires, then Man United won't be able to find a replacement.
Oh, this is true.
Then you'll see. Then you'll know how it feels.
Or we might even do a Liverpool and go and get Bobby Charlton. I mean, you dug Kenny Dalglish out of the back cupboard.
Did you say you're going to get Bobby Charlton?
Yeah.
Not Jack Charlton, the guy who used to manage. Bobby Charlton, the dude who's never managed the team in
never
his
managed.
life.
Well, you know.
He's a director at Man United.
Indeed he is.
Do you not? Are you going to dig him up? Is he still alive?
Oh, barely. I believe it was his 75th birthday the other day.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he'll be outstanding as a manager.
All right,
I think he should.
Well, local rugby this evening. How do you see it going? Sharks up against Bulls and Lions versus Western Province.
I think the Sharks are going to beat the Bulls. They've been on good form, as much as it pains me to say it. And then, of course, the Lions playing at home at Coca-Cola Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's always a big factor because of the altitude and, of course, the fantastic Lions fans.
Well, this is true. I mean, look, I live around the corner from Coca-Cola Park Stadium, and I'm just hoping that there's enough people tonight to maybe outnumber the wave of white and blue that all of a sudden emerges when the storm comes up to Johannesburg.
Well, there is a storm coming as well, and most of those Cape Townians haven't seen thunder in their lives. So... So I'm actually going to say it'll be close, but I think the Lions are going to take it.
All right. Lions and Sharks final should be absolutely majestic, and will most probably happen down in Durban. It'll be a repeat of last year. And we, of course, remember that the Lions won.
Yes, let's hope the score's repeated as well.
Exactly. Well, we'll at 4:15, remember I said you'll find out exactly what Pilates has to do with golf and how Pilates will improve your golf swing. In a moment or so, Peter Burrows joining us on the line. He's going to be chatting to us about the Human Auto 400. It's a South African off-road rally season, and it's happening in the Free State this weekend. Started today and will take place tomorrow as well. All right, give this a keen listen once again. I'm going to see whether or not you can identify the voice. You almost got it right, didn't you?
I was close.
You were very, very close. Very, very close. You actually got half of the name right, I suppose.
Yes, sort of.
All right, let's play it again. Let's see whether or not our listeners have what it takes. Who is this? What are they talking about? 34701. Each SMS costs you R2 on SAFM.
If you look at the quality of those newcomers, these are the people who have already shown their mettle internationally, and we're very confident that this is the team that will bring more than the medals that we had last time. South Africa need not fear. They will definitely bring the medals back to us.
All right. Any ideas now? Don't give it away if you do know.
No. I would have gone with my original one that you said was wrong.
All right, well, you can say it.
I thought it was Samram Sammy.
Yeah, close but no cigar.
But it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
Close but no cigar. Let's see whether or not you can do better than Chris Forrest, our co-host on Offside on SAFM Sports Special today. Drop us a line, 34701. Each SMS costs you R2, and better still, tell us what about. Tell us what he's talking about, and whether or not what he said came true. Otherwise, if you can't spare the R2, we know it's tough economic times at the moment. You can always get online and go to twitter.com. Find us there, SAFMSS on twitter.com. Hit us a tweet, and let's see whether or not you can get the answer right. For the moment, though, we got bigger fish to fry, do we not, Chris?
We do indeed. So let's go back to Mo Ali at the Athlone Stadium and see what's happening between Ajax and SuperSport.
No, we certainly will in a moment or so. Remember, if you can't get a hold of us on Twitter, you can always get a hold of us on Facebook as well. Go to facebook.com, search for SAFM Sports Special, and you'll be able to connect with us on South Africa's news and information leader. South Africa's premier radio sporting program, coming to you every Saturday and Sunday on FM 104 to 107. It's myself, Nicholas Bauer, and I'm really happy to be back after a little bit of a break away from the mic. Mo knows more about that, and he certainly knows what's going on in the football. Mo, what's the latest? Mo, are you with us? Yeah, vuvuzelas galore, but no
vuvuzelas, and not. It's a riveting game. Mo is actually so taken by it that he can't talk to us right now. In fact, they're coming close to scoring. I think it's Ajax Cape Town who's coming close to scoring at this point in time. So we'll hear more from Mo in a second. But in the meantime, if you want to know what the score is, then I'll just speak to my psychic.
Yeah, well, no, we've got a score coming through on the wires. No goals as of yet. 33 minutes gone. Also, no goals between Free State Stars and Golden Arrows. Let's try this one more time.
No goals anywhere in the Telkom knockout.
No goals.
It's Telkom, so it's taking a while for anyone to get through.
Oh, lovely stuff with Chris Forrest on SAFM Sports Special today. Kind of a problem that we have with Bafana as well, an ability to score.
Yeah, although they got 2 against Kenya and Kenya scored 1 for us, that was pretty special. But I think with Gordon Ingerson, we got the right guy. It's a tragedy what happened to Thomas Morekage. But Ingerson's won the league with teams like, he's done it with Sundowns, with Pirates.
Almost did it with Swallows as well.
Almost did it with Swallows. He did it with Ajax Cape Town, if I'm not mistaken, and Santos.
Yeah, he originally did it with Santos. The first title that he won way back in the mid-90s.
And Manning Rangers. If you can win the league with Manning Rangers, then Bafana can at least win the African Cup of Nations.
Oh, well, let's hope so. He's going to make it through to the semis. He's going to make it through to the knockout stages of the World Cup. That is a long way off, 2014 in Brazil. I suppose just around the corner, as we hope as well. Mo Ali is around the corner. And don't forget, we're with you until 7 on SAFM Sports Special, South Africa's news and information leader, FM 104 to 107. Yeah, that's right. And you can listen to SAFM Sports Special every Saturday and Sunday with myself, Nicholas Bauer. Co-presenting with me today on Offside is Chris Forrest. And Chris, there's a bit of development in the English Premier League game. Bit
of action. Spurs is now 4-2 down to Chelsea. Sturridge has just scored a goal in the 91st minute. There's 4 minutes of extra time, but I can't see Tottenham coming back from this. I think there's going to be a couple of tears shed at White Hart Lane. Villas-Boas is actually crying. He's phoned his mom and thrown a tantrum because he's still very young. But yeah, this is bringing an end to Tottenham's 5-game winning streak. So well done, Chelsea. And I don't mind if they win the league as long as Man United doesn't.
Oh, well, we certainly know that Liverpool isn't. We'll carry on with that in a moment. Back to Offside with Chris Forrest this week on SAFM Sports Special, renowned comedian and all-round funny guy joining me in the hot seat on South Africa's news and information leader this week. So, the game is done and dusted. No luck for Andre Villas-Boas.
No, that brings an end to his winning streak and puts Chelsea 7 points clear, if I'm not mistaken, of Man United. Although Man United's got a tricky one against Stoke. They have beaten them the last few times. I can't see Stoke actually pulling a result at Old Trafford.
Didn't some other team that wears red lose to Stoke not so long ago?
Don't know what you're talking about. So a couple of good games today. I think the West Brom Man City one should be entertaining.
Yeah, it should be.
West Brom at home's a tough task.
Yeah, anybody away from home, really. I mean, you think these middle of the table guys will be just cannon fodder for the big boys, but it's not cut and dried, eh?
I don't know. I think Arsenal's going to thump Norwich. That's an away game, but Norwich has really been in poor form lately. The City game should be interesting. Let's hope that Peter Crouch scores against United, and then they just park the bus. Who else? Fulham, Aston Villa. They've got Berbatov back, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be a Fulham victory.
I don't know. I'm not too sure about the result, but maybe something that'll enthuse our female listeners. I found out about a week or so ago. Did you know that Prince William, old Willie, he supports Aston Villa?
Why?
I have no idea either. If I was a royal, who would you actually support? Chelsea?
Liverpool.
Whatever. Or whatever. Updating the cricket, we got Champions League 2020 Group B clash between the Lions and Yorkshire at Johannesburg. The Wanderers. Yorkshire finishing up on 131 for 7 in their allotted 20 overs. 2 wickets apiece for Sahil Tanvir and Aaron van Giesel. Lions innings has just begun. They've already lost Alvaro Peterson. 19 of 18 balls is what he got. And then Quinton de Kock about to join Gulam Bodie at the crease. Bodie on 6 and de Kock still making his way there. So 27 for 1 are where the Lions find themselves. They need another 105 to win with 16.2 overs remaining. Remember our SMS line, please. 34701. Each SMS costs you R2. Otherwise, drop us a tweet. Why don't you? That's SFMSS on twitter.com. Elsewhere, we got one comment on the Curry Cup coming through. We got Ian down in Derbs. The Sharks will thump the Lions next week.
Yes, Ian. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course they will, because you're from Durban. But if you actually watched rugby, then you'd know. You may have a short memory, but a lot of Shark supporters were saying that this time last year,
exactly.
if I recall.
Yeah.
And Yankees had different ideas. So let's see what happens this year. I would keep quiet if I was a Sharks fan. I'd keep very quiet.
I certainly would too. And, there's not much that you can gloat about as a Lions fan as of late, but Elton Jantjies is one of them.
We can gloat about a few things. Like, for instance, we've won a Super Rugby competition before, and the Sharks never have.
Look, that was before I even had hairs under my arm, but that was 1993. Do you even remember that far back?
I do. Francois Pinault was the captain.
Yeah, geez. Hans Stradum and Kobus Visser in the lock pairing there. Henny Leroux, Theo van Rensburg.
Uli Schmidt,
Schmidt.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. Fun times. If you've just joined us, you're on SAFM Sports Special, having some great fun with Chris Forrest on Offside today on South Africa's news and information leader. SAFM Sports Special is South Africa's premier radio sporting program, and you can catch us every Saturday and Sunday. So, Chris, what's news? I believe you are expecting a little one. You're married, you're a funny man, but things might just get serious.
Things might get serious, yes. We've got a little one on the way in January. Which is loads of fun. If you've ever lived with a pregnant woman, they tend to get really upset with you for really minor things, and then at the same time have a bad memory, and so they get upset with you, and then they can't remember why, which is one of the trickiest things ever. But it's been quite a ride, and we're very excited. We're going to have a little girl.
Oh, awesome! Nice one. You're going to call her Christine?
We don't have any names as yet. We're going to wait till she pops out, and then
okay.
I wanted to name her,
and hopefully she doesn't just pop out, right?
Well, hopefully she does. It makes it a lot easier. I wanted to name her when we didn't know whether it was going to be a boy or a girl, I was going for Luis, after Luis Suarez. So if it was a boy, it could be Luis, and if it was a girl, it could be Louise. You know what I'm saying?
But really? What, and then you're going to teach him to handle the ball in the area?
Luis Suarez has never handled the ball except for when he was in South Africa.
All right, and what if she's a girl? You're also going to teach her to handle the ball?
Netball. That's what girls play.
Okay, nice one. Good save there.
And yes, there's no euphemisms.
Not at all. All right, Chris, where can we see you in action?
I'll be doing the Bafani countrywide tour. So we've already done the Joburg leg, but if you're in Durban, we'll be there on the 10th and 11th of November. Otherwise in Cape Town on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of November.
All right, and I'm supposing after that just loads up on the go?
Yeah, this time of year is not so much on the public gigs. I'll actually be in Port Elizabeth on Friday as well. If you're in PE.
What's up with you comedians in PE? Barry Hilton lives in PE. Who wants to live there?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't live there, but the people there are really cool. So they're really nice. It's always a fun crowd. We always have a good time.
All right.
I'll be at the Boardwalk Casino there.
Awesomeness. Nice. Chris, absolute pleasure having you on the show. We've retweeted you a couple of times on our Twitter feed. If you want to go to twitter.com, find chrisforrest.co.za, 2 R's and SA right at the end there. Can we put you on the spot? Cricket balls. What makes them funny?
Cricket balls?
Yeah.
I've never had cricket balls. I've had tennis elbow.
Nice try. Awesome. Chris Forrest joining us at SAFM Sports Special. It'd be the absolute pleasure.